Hello players, thanks for stopping by and checking out my huge package. Oh, don't worry, it gets worse. We are unboxing the PureBase 500 DX, and if you're not down with that, well, we got two words for you. So after spending way too long on Gamers Nexus's videos about cases for the best airflow, we settled on one that isn't the best airflow, but is pretty good anyway. It doesn't rank the highest in their chart, but it looks nice, and that's kind of a trade-off because this is going in the living room to replace my Corsair Spec Omega RGB. A link for that video unboxing and setting it up is in this card and the description. But I recently acquired a RTX 3080 Founders, and that case doesn't handle airflow that well for that card. So it's getting a bit toasty in there, so we wanted something that was going to have a bit more airflow but look a bit stylish at the same time. So this Spec Omega RGB from Corsair has a LED strip on the front, which looks very stylish, and this case, the PureBase DX500 from BeQuiet, has a similar LED strip on the front as well. So here we go. Case up and over. We're stuck, Jim. We did it. We did it, Reddit. Okay, so, nope, we're stuck again. I cannot do it, Captain. I don't have the power. Ow. Shocking. We are going to have a look at what comes in the PureBase 500 DX box from BeQuiet. I won't be putting a system in this one today because the the cable management in the Corsair case that I have at the moment is a bit of a nightmare, and I have a feeling that it's going to take a while to do that. So there'll probably be a part 2 where we build it, and it's upside down still. Okay, there we go. What do you reckon? Another static shock? That's what I reckon. Little one, little tiny static shock. So I ordered this case from Scan in the UK. Scan always delivers stuff amazingly well, and it's always really well packaged. This isn't sponsored or anything, but I think it's good to give companies a shout out when they do well. So there we go. We have got a manual. This is the usual user manual. Okay, so there's quite a lot of features in there. Hopefully we'll get through those as we go through the unboxing. We'll come back to that later if we need it. So on the front panel, we've got this nice LED strip. Hopefully I can demonstrate that working if I can find a power supply, a spare power supply. Hopefully we can get that demonstrated for this video. The front I/O has a USB 3.1 Type-C slot, a USB 3.0 Type-A slot, a nice clicky power button, microphone, headphones, and there's not a reset switch. That is the switch for the LEDs. The LED strip is nice and non-proprietary. It's ARGB, which means addressable RGB. So if you have an ARGB slot on your motherboard, you should be able to sync everything with your motherboard's LED RGB controller software. So I have an Asus X570 motherboard. That actually ties in with IQ, so I should, from Corsair, so I should be able to control all my fans, this, and the lighting on the 3080 through one software program from Corsair, the IQ software. So hopefully that will all work. On the top section we have a magnetic removable dust filter with the BeQuiet logo on there. Okay, so let's turn around. Turn around, every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming round. Okay, so we have got a tempered glass side panel with thumb screws, which is nice. You don't need an Allen key or a screwdriver, although there is a flathead cutout for them if you wanted to, you know, over tighten it and break it. You could you could do that if you wish. I'm guessing that's there in case they get stuck or whatever. So let's carefully take this off. No Linus stuff here. Okay, so inside we've got a fairly standard ATX layout. Over here is a mount for 2 SSDs, so you can mount them and have them be visible in the case if you have some really nice fancy SSDs. And there's also a nice cable management section in there. We'll probably get to that as we turn around the case a bit more. And at the bottom there we've got the power supply shroud. You can get so many PSUs in this. Let's have a look and see what goes in her backside. Pretty standard layout at the back, which is what you want. I think you can kind of rearrange this and have your GPU mounted vertically if you wish. I don't know. So now is probably a good time to check the manual. It looks like no is the answer for that one. Although you probably could if you really wanted to, but it doesn't look like that option is included. Let's see what's inside the side. Got some nice cable management options there. We've got a nice big cutout for the PSU, so you should have plenty of space in there. We've got a removable hard drive bay and a box of accessories. Get to those in a minute. Cables. So they've got included pre-run cables. We've got SATA power, probably for the front RGB. There's a ARGB header, front audio, USB 3.1 Type A, USB 3.1 Type C, probably, I'm guessing, yes. We've also got the power switch button and the power plus and minus LED cables there. The 3.5 inch hard drive bay looks like it's removable, so we can take that out. If you perhaps have a very long power supply, or if you just have something enormous that you want to shove in the bottom. This is the SSD bracket, which we can take out. So this is pretty cool. This is the SSD mount, so you can mount 2 SSDs at the top and bottom and run the cables in the cutouts there. So you can see your lovely, shiny, expensive SSDs through the tempered glass side panel. It also has a nice cable cover there, I guess it is, for hiding the cables that come from the motherboard. So a little bit more getting cables out of the way. But in addition to that, you also have the removable 3.5 inch drive bay there for space for 2 3.5 inch drives. But you probably could, well, there's a space for an SSD on the bottom. There's holes for that, so you can mount an SSD to the bottom. But you can also get adapters, so you can mount 2 SSDs into a 3.5 inch bay. So effectively, you get quite a few SSDs in there, because you also have 2 more SSD cutouts up there to mount even more SSDs. SSD City. So yeah, GTA is going to load really fast with all those SSDs. I've got 4 SSDs in my system at the moment. I might mount 2 of them on here because 2 of them do look nice. The other 2 I'm probably going to put in here because I want to keep the space free for the Corsair Commander Pro and all the lights and fans that I have with that already. They are a lot of cables and they all need to be plugged in somewhere. So I'm going to try and mount the Pro there, so it's kind of out the way and the cables can all be managed nicely. So you can have a 360mm radiator in the front and up to a 240mm radiator in the top. Now I'm looking at this because I have a 240mm radiator and it's looking tight for the top. It looks possible, but it's going to depend on where the RAM sits and things like that on the motherboard, but hopefully we can get it up there. It is cut out, so the position is shifted to the front side of the case, so you should have plenty of clearance in there for the RAM, but we'll have to see. If you are going to put radiator in the top, you may need to take this 140mm fan out and replace it with a 120 just to give it that little bit more clearance on the side there. But you do have cutouts for a 120 fan in there as well. So that's good. The case is nearly over, but we've got a couple of dust filters to have a look at. So we've got a dust filter on the bottom, which just slides out like that. Nice and hexagony. I can't remember which side I pulled it out from. I'm pretty sure it's that way. Yep. There we go. And there is a dust filter on the inside here. I'm not sure how you get that out. To remove the front dust filter, the front panel comes off by tugging at the bottom. Now, the first time I've taken it off, it's very stiff and I nearly dropped it. So be careful when you take that off. Perhaps do it on carpet or something. But what's really nice is that the RGB connection is just these contact points right there. So there's no cables to worry about breaking when you take this off. There's just a contact pad on the front of the case there and a contact pad on this side panel. Very, very nice. So from there, it is just a case of sliding it out sideways, I believe. Oh, it opens that way, and then you can just lift it off. Very nice. Okay, so there's your front dust filter, and this is where you'd get access to put in your radiator and your fans. So as I said earlier, you've got space for a 360 in the front, or a 240, or a 120 if you really want. I don't know why you'd want that. You get 3 120s there, I suppose. But the space is there. You've got quite a nice recess there for the fans to sit in, so that's quite nice. And there's quite a bit of space at the back here to mount the radiator. Or you may even get it the other way around. You may get the radiator in the front section there, depending on how thin your radiator is. So the front is plenty of space for radiators. The top may be a bit tight, but we're gonna have to test it to find out, and I'll report back once I've built my system in here. Now, I bet you're all wondering, as intently as I am, what is in this accessories box. My guess is screws and zip ties. Oh, look at that, screws and zip ties. Nothing exciting in this box. Hard drive screws, some unidentified screws, I don't know what they're for, and a standoff remover tool as well. The zip ties, unfortunately, are the plastic kind. I would have liked to have seen some fabric reusable ones, but there we go. I think we've covered a lot today. This has been an unboxing for the BeQuiet Pure Base 500 DX. And that last bit was just another excuse to say DX. I'm gonna get a system built in this, so subscribe if you want to see how that goes, especially with the top mounted radiator. And until next time, be excellent to each other and keep playing.